Welcome, everyone. The DNC starts tonight. We have such exciting things happening, but I do want to start with some corrections, as many of you know. I don't relegate the corrections to the last 30 seconds of the show, trying to hide them where no one will see them the way so many newspapers do. It appears that there are some differences of opinion and maybe some factual inaccuracies from last week. Number one, there are people in the audience who do not believe that in the video I played, where I believe Donald Trump referred to Kamala Harris as an effing bitch, some people wrote to me and said, David, that's not at all what I hear. So if I got that wrong, then certainly I apologize. It's what I heard, but I respect that there are people in my audience who think, I don't think that's what Trump said. And then number two, J.D. Vance did a completely failed and pathetic event last week, which I said was with an audience of dozens of people. I received some emails saying, David, some of those reports about dozens of people were wrong. There seemed to have been about 150 people at the event. So I stand corrected. The event was still pathetic. The event was still weaponized nonsense. The event was still one held by the worst and least popular vice presidential selection in American history. But it appears he had about 150 people there, not dozens. So I stand corrected. Over the weekend, I received many emails from people saying, David, you know, one of the things I'm excited about is that we no longer only have to point out Trump's flaws and his horrible events, because we have something to be excited now for those who are opposing Donald Trump. The Kamala Harris events, and in particular, people loving Tim Walz, these are positive things to highlight. And so as much as now we are in the position of saying, look at this disastrous Trump, a bastardization of everything that is supposed to be American politics, we also can say, look at the great vision being outlined and presented by Tim Walz alongside Kamala Harris. They've both been good, but Tim Walz is really, really good at this. Let's look at some examples. Notice this is leading the show. We'll get to Trump's abortive rally later, but we are leading with, look at the incredible job that Harris and Walz are doing in exciting people. This is in Omaha, Nebraska, and here is Walz. It's almost unfair what he's doing to J.D. Vance and Donald Trump. He's so good at it.
And this idea about knowing us, let me ask you something on this. Do you think J.D. Vance knows one damn thing about Nebraska? He's going to be here next week. You think he's ever had a runza? You think he's ever had a runza? That guy would call it a hot pocket. You know it. Every one of you in here know it. A damn hot pocket.
There you go. So, of course, runza, for those who aren't familiar, I had to look it up. I didn't even know about it. A runza is a yeasty dough bread pocket with various fillings. You can get ground beef or a cabbage and sauerkraut, onion seasoning. And it's conceivable that J.D. Vance would relegate it to Hot Pocket status because he doesn't know what the hell is going on down there in Nebraska. Maybe more substantively, but the point here is just to show that Walz is very, very good at doing this. He talks about how J.D. Vance just isn't, at the end of the day, what Nebraska needs. Nebraska, known colloquially as a very red place, it's not going to benefit from J.D. Vance. It would benefit from Harris Walz.
Look, folks, in the heartland and in Nebraska and in Minnesota, we don't need a Yale-educated philosophy major backed by billionaire venture capitalists to tell us who we are. We know who we are. We know who our neighbors are.
This stuff is landing, and it's landing really, really well. The polling confirms it, which we will look at. And Walz is a guy who, you know, you often say you don't want a vice presidential pick who's going to get in your way. That's what J.D. Vance is doing for Donald Trump. Forget about getting in Kamala Harris's way. Tim Walz is actually clearing a path for her. Here is Tim Walz talking about how the Trump vision of the world is very different than what Harris Walz bring to the table.
Look, we're positive, but I think we all know Donald Trump sees the world a little differently. You think he would understand the importance of Carhenge as a historical relic? The British made a replica of it out of stone. It's so important. So just so we know. Or do you think he would know the joy of tubing and swimming the Niobrara as we do in the summer? And this one's for the gray hairs in this room. You think that guy could understand the pure joy of pre-gaming at sidetracks before a Husker Sooner game? All I can say about that, too, is I'm glad there weren't video cameras around at the time. So we've been there. Look, in Nebraska, you got a slogan here. Nebraska, it's not for everyone. Well, it sure ain't for Donald Trump, I'll tell you that.
So, by the way, those curious about Carhenge, it is a Stonehenge-like installation made from old cars. It's kind of a random little thing. And Walz continuing and just really hitting the cultural notes as well as the policy notes. And this is something that's hard to do. There are elected officials, including on the left, who can really go deep when it comes to policy, but not necessarily in a way that connects with an audience. And then you've got the ones that are able to connect with an audience culturally, but as far as policy goes, they're not good at kind of drawing the connections and explaining the parallels between the cultural and the policy stuff. Walz just does it, and he does it effortlessly.
This guy is the opposite of everything here. Every opportunity he has, he weakens our country to strengthen his own hand. He mocks our laws. He sows chaos and division amongst us. And that's not even counting the time he was president.
He continued talking about this connection to the working class. And this is actual working class rhetoric that connects to the person using it. And I'm going to play this in a moment. But remember, as we watch this, as we listen to this, rather than billionaire Trump's false promises in the context where he has no clue and has spent his entire life trying to be kept away from the very folks he now is trying to convince to vote for him, Tim Walz's reported net worth was something like $150,000 or $300,000 or something like that. And he does actually have an ability, not only empirically, but also rhetorically, to connect with the average person.
You've heard the vice president say this. She said, only in America could a woman from Oakland, California, who worked shifts at the local McDonald's while she got her degree, be our nominee for president of the United States. When I heard the McDonald's story about that she's worked at McDonald's, like so many of us growing up, took jobs to get by. The funny thing to me is, can you picture Donald Trump working the McFlurry machine? Oh, he knows us. He knows us. He couldn't work the McFlurry machine. Many of you in here did. But I have to tell you, from her first day as a prosecutor, and then as a district attorney, and then as the Attorney General of the state of California, a United States Senator, and our Vice President.
So these events going very, very well. And by the way, forget about Trump working a McFlurry machine. I would question whether Donald Trump could just make pasta. Would he know how high the water level should be? Where to figure out how long you boil the pasta, to open up a jar? And I mean, I genuinely don't know that the guy could make pasta, never mind work a McFlurry machine. So things going really well for Kamala Harris's selection of Tim Walz. On the other hand, things going very poorly for J.D. Vance.